they resolve conflict through sex, and it doesn't matter if it's male on male, male to female, female on female. They don't fight. It's rare that they fight. They have sex all day long.
They're so promiscuous.
Hello.
Welcome to World's Wildest, everybody. We have a very special episode today with a very special guest. It's a cat, audio listeners, and she's an ally. This is Claire. This is our Pride Month episode. Happy June.
Let's go.
Everybody, we're going to talk about pride in the animal kingdom this month. I'm very excited. This was some fascinating research.
It was
perhaps
crazy.
some of the most fascinating research.
It was a lot of research too to get it right.
Yeah, it took some time. But I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be really fun if you guys are interested in learning about pride in the animal kingdom.
It's interesting how people try to put things in boxes, specifically like species, and everything is kind of like a spectrum, including Pride Month in the animal kingdom, and I'll get on that soapbox a little bit later.
Wahoo! Shall we?
Let's do it.
Should we dive in? Okay. My first animal, and I didn't even tell you what this is. I didn't even say what it was.
What?
In our notes. I did not.
Because you changed it. Yeah.
Because I changed it last minute. I'm talking about leafcutter ants today.
Okay. Yep.
Which I love. The first time I saw leafcutter ants was in Belize, and I've only ever seen them in like nature documentaries. And so seeing them in person, I was like, oh my God, look at them. Like, they're so cool. They're so iconic. Like, they're just so cool to see in a row, walking around. They're amazing. They carry these leaf pieces that are so meticulously cut and beautiful and so much larger than themselves. And I remember being so excited, and all these biologists were just like,
Pretty
okay,
normal.
and because they're everywhere.
And they're in the running for like the world's strongest too, aren't they?
Oh, I'm sure they are. I didn't do that research, but they have to be
I think
so
they're
strong.
like top 5 for world's strongest. They can lift, what is it? I don't want to say the wrong number. It was significantly more than their body weight though.
Yeah. But they're 0.25 inches. That's 0.64 centimeters long, which is small, but for an ant is like pretty large.
Yeah.
Quarter inch. And they feed on fungus. They're native to Central and South America. Rainforests. They like rainforests. And they're farmers. Do you know anything about leafcutter ants?
A little bit.
Do you know why they cut leaves?
To eat them?
No.
That's okay. What do they eat?
Because they eat
fungus. Okay.
Fungus. They're farmers. They've been farming for 50 million freaking years, which is way longer than us. Yeah. They carve out these little leaf pieces. No, they're not eating them. That's what you would assume. But no, they take them back to their colony and they feed them to a fungus that they're cultivating in their colony. And the fungus breaks down the plant polymers that the ants cannot, and then the plant becomes nutritionally available via fungus.
So they're still eating the plant, but it goes through fungus like a stomach, and then they can eat part of the plant.
I mean, that's like saying you're eating grass if you eat a cow.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That's not the same. They're eating fungus, but they get the nutrition from the leaves.
Oh, they're eating the fungus.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought the fungus was spitting out pieces of leaf that were digestible.
No. They're eating the fungus after the fungus has broken down the leaves.
That's cool.
Yeah. Also, the fungal crop in leafcutter ant colonies only found in association with the ants. Like, they are full-on farmers.
Do they like spread it from colony to colony? Or do they find it somewhere in nature and then cultivate it?
I think the queen ants, I didn't do much research on this, but I think the queen ants start with a small bit of fungus that they must take from somewhere else. Yeah, and like start their colony that way. So anyway, very fun fact about them. The reason that they're our first animal that we're talking about today is because a ton of them are asexual. Yeah. All of the ants in a leafcutter ant colony are female.
No males whatsoever to breed with the female?
Very, very occasionally, the queen ant will have male babies, but they have wings, and their job is to fly away and go reproduce with some other queen ants to aid in genetic diversity, and then right after they mate, they die.
That's cool.
So all of the ants that are working, that are leaf cutting and walking around, they're female ants, and they will never reproduce because they have a queen ant that does all the reproduction. She has 150 to 200 million offspring in her life.
That's
so they don't
many.
need to reproduce. This is something that I don't really need to go on a tangent on, but I just want to.
Sure. That's cool.
Haplodiploidy.
Yep.
Are you familiar?
Two
Two
chromosomes? 2 pairs of chromosomes?
We'll put up a graphic here. So this occurs in all species of bees, ants, wasps. Without doing too much explaining, female bees, or ants in this case, female ants, if they lay unfertilized eggs, they will have male babies. If they mate with a male and they lay fertilized eggs, they will be females. So essentially, 0 bees, ants, or wasps, male bee, ants, or wasps, have fathers.
Okay.
Because if they're male, they were born unfertilized by a female.
Okay. Yep. That's cool.
But they can have a grandfather.
Okay.
Because to have a female, you have to have a male.
Okay.
So male and female mate, they have a female.
Mm-hmm.
Then that female lays eggs that are unfertilized, has a male. So they have a grandfather but no father.
Weird.
Does that make sense?
A little bit.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, that's what that means, essentially. So the queen ants are going to be laying fertilized eggs from males that are coming in just to breed with her, which turn out to be female, or unfertilized eggs that are males, and then those leave.
You could have Mick draw a chart and put it in the YouTube video.
You could do your best, man. It's pretty complicated.
It's cool.
I did my best to explain. Guys, here's your icebreaker fact for your next party. Male bees don't have a father. Male ants don't have a father, but they can have a grandfather.
That is
With
cool.
wasps. Anyway, wrap your brain around that. They live in eusocial systems. This is what I've been saying. Everybody knows there's a queen ant.
Right.
There's a queen ant, and then the rest of the ants. Eusocial systems mean they live in groups. They do cooperative care of juveniles, extreme task specialization, and reproductive division of labor, as in queens have all the babies, and everybody else is asexual. Which is cool. But they're so important because there's so many jobs in an ant colony. There's cooperative care, cleaning the nest, defense and trail management. There's carriers, as in they're carrying the leaves, the ones that we see the most.
Defense and trail management. That's cool.
Yeah, they hang out like outside the colony.
That's awesome.
And with like guns and fight off anything coming in. There's carriers, the ones that carry the leaves. There's riders that are much smaller that will ride on the leaves to both clean them on their way into the colony.
They're efficient.
Yeah, but also to make sure no parasitoid wasps hitchhike into the colony.
Wow.
So they will like ride on the leaf and defend the leaf that's going into the colony. And there are soldiers that protect the ants that are marching with the leaves into the colony. There are small workers that only hang out with the queen to groom her and protect her. There's waste disposal ants.
She's probably popping out like 200 eggs a minute.
I have no idea, but it's probably no offense, queen leafcutter ant, it's probably such a gross number. Like,
because you said 150 million
150
eggs?
to 250 million offspring in her life.
I'm doing quick math in my head. That's probably around 200 eggs a minute.
Don't take his word on that. We haven't done that math.
I think I saw it in a documentary that I watched 2 hours ago.
Oh, okay. You're a genius. You shouldn't have said that. They'd be like, oh my God, it's actually
You were
true.
trying to discredit me,
Sorry,
and I had to bring in my credentials.
Anyway, my point is there's so many jobs for all of these ants. They never think about reproducing, and they shouldn't, and they don't need to because they're so valuable in so many other ways. So they're all asexual, and I thought that was a fun place to start. Because my first thought was like, oh, we gotta do some gay behavior. We gotta do some homosexual behavior. And then I was like, wait a second, we could also do asexual behavior. That's so interesting.
Yeah. I saw this on Twitter, or
Okay.
X.com. I don't know if this is accurate or not,
I love spreading misinformation
but
on World's Wildest.
it was a diagram of someone that got a laceration in the jungle, like a cut, and he needed to put stitches. So he found leafcutter ants. He got them to...
I have seen something like this.
He got them to close up the wound by biting it, and then he would rip their bodies off and leave the heads in. And it acted like a natural stitch, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how true that is. I don't know if that's possible, but that's kind of cool. Sad for the ants, but pretty cool.
I would not recommend
Don't try
giving
it.
that a go.
Like
When
worst
I was
case scenario, sure.
I was in an indigenous community in the Amazon rainforest not long ago. It's a crazy thing to say. And I ate, they called them ants, but they were termites with like the huge heads and small bodies.
That's cool.
I ate some of those and they were dried and their heads would pop off and like the head got stuck because I don't know if they're mandibles or what, but they were so sharp that they like I could totally see if they were alive, like them gripping on there and not being able to get them off. So I don't know. It's possible. There's some anecdotal evidence.
This is, I don't know. It's a theory. Don't quote me on it. So
anyway, asexual ants. There you go.
Well,
happy Pride Month.
I've got a species that exhibits a lot of homosexual behavior. Bonobos. Are you familiar with bonobos?
Oh yeah.
So bonobos are absolutely awesome. They're not studied enough, and I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Let's tell them what a bonobo is.
I'm going to get to that in like 10 seconds.
Okay.
So they closely resemble and are closely related to chimpanzees. We have a picture of a bonobo. They are not direct. We are not direct descendants from chimpanzees or bonobos, but we did have a distant ancestor, common ancestor that we split off from. I think that's 8 million years ago on that diagram.
Got it.
We share 98.7% of our DNA with them.
Cool.
Great apes, which the bonobos and chimpanzees are a part of, have 24 pairs of chromosomes. How many do we have? I put you on the spot. I'm so sorry.
I don't know.
23.
Okay.
So we have 23.
How many letters are there in the alphabet?
26.
I was hoping it would help me remember, but it didn't.
So if you had to guess, since we're 98.7% genetically the same, how many pairs of chromosomes do we share with chimpanzees and bonobos? Like they're pretty much identical.
98% of 23? Is that what you're asking?
It's not, the math's not direct.
20.
Pretty close. 18 of the 23 pairs are virtually identical.
Wicked.
Which is crazy. So they are very playful. They're very smart. They're very kind, and they're very intelligent. They have the intelligence of a toddler. And now we're getting to the picture that I thought I had first. The picture.
I would like to argue with you briefly.
Okay.
Intelligence of a toddler.
Yes.
No way. Way more than that. Connor and I watched a video today.
What do you define as a toddler? Like
Dumb.
what age? What age range?
Like 3?
Yeah.
A 3-year-old could not strike a match and light a fire. Connor and I watched a video today that we can't show you because it's BBC and they'll take all of our money. But it's a video of a bonobo in captivity that strikes a match, puts sticks together, strikes a match, puts it in the fire, starts a fire, puts marshmallows on a stick, roasts the marshmallows, brings them to his mouth, cools them off, and then eats them. A 3-year-old could never.
That bonobo's name was Zanzi. Very cute.
They're way smarter than a toddler.
So they live to be 40 years old, though. So if you're a 3-year-old for 40 years, I guess like
they're not going to get that smart. A 3-year-old's never going to be able to do that. Am I crazy?
They could learn that pretty fast.
3-year-olds eat their own boogers constantly.
So do bonobos.
And like dirt and paint.
If you're a 3-year-old intelligence for that long, you're going to learn basic things.
We're going to have to find a 3-year-old and do some unethical testing. We're going to have to give them matches and see what they do.
They could figure it out. Give them enough time. Give them a day. They'll figure it out.
We'll get back to you guys after we do some unethical testing.
It'll be a great time.
Okay, sorry.
Gasoline as well? Never mind. No, we won't.
Continue.
So, okay, you got me lost here.
Sorry.
So, yeah, they're extremely smart. They're very kind. Oh, I know I was going to go off on a slight tangent. So they're very intelligent. This might make them 4 or 5 years old. But I was watching Joe Soltori, which is very famous for the photo arc of endangered species. Spoiler, bonobos are endangered. They were giving posing cues to the bonobo, and it knew every single word that its keeper was saying. And would like smile, he would spin around, he would go to this, he's like, look at this person. And the bonobo would face that keeper or face the other keeper.
Do 3-year-olds even know their name? They do. 3-year-olds know their names.
You like face your father. Like they could probably learn that. Maybe it's a 4 or 5-year-old, but like they the amount that they understand is absolutely crazy. They're very intelligent.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. Actually, they got it kind of wrong for bonobos. Bonobos were like really like the evil ones, the scary ones that like
I didn't even
fought.
realize those were bonobos in Planet of the Apes.
They're genetically modified, so maybe they're a little different in this world.
I wouldn't argue that that's the most realistic movie.
But like orangutans and all the other great apes.
Connor.
Tans. Jesus.
This is the second episode. He says orangutan. It drives me crazy.
It's my southern twang.
Orangutan.
That's what I grew up calling them at Zoo Atlanta. Orangutan. Orangutan. Thank you. Yeah, orangutans are very intelligent. They get it right in that movie. Anyway, sorry. So, producer, we can pull up that picture number 2 to give some context. Maya can describe what they look like.
Cute.
What does he look like?
He kind of looks like a baby chimpanzee, but his face is all black instead of being that like kind of like lighter tanny or like fleshy color of a chimpanzee. He kind of looks like a baby, but it does look like a chimpanzee.
Yeah. So they're slightly smaller.
Really soft eyes.
And you can look into their eyes, actually.
I would rather not.
You can't, like, it's a connection thing with these guys because they're so gentle, and I'll tell you more about that later. But, like, this is the only great ape that you can look into their eyes because it's a way for you to communicate, and it's not an aggressive thing like in every other great ape. So.
Last time I looked into a monkey's eyes, she grabbed me by my ponytail and threw me to the ground.
Depends on what you're saying with your eyes.
I don't think I was asking her to do that.
So the size, I'm going to spit out a bunch of numbers, but just imagine an animal that's like 80% of Maya. Maya it's a little bit smaller. You have bad posture. It basically looks like a...
So they're like 80 pounds?
Yeah.
Wow. It's larger than I thought. I thought they were smaller.
68 to 86 pounds or 30 to 39 kilograms. They're 2.3 to 2.9 feet or 0.7 to 0.9 meters. Again, 80% of Maya slunched over. That's what they look like.
Okay.
So they live to be 40 years old. They eat leaves, stems, fruits, worms, insects, and sometimes small fish. This is really cool. They build nests in trees anywhere between 10 feet and 40 feet up in fruit trees.
40 feet's high, guys.
They're excellent climbers, and they build nests together. Very communal, which is super cool. So
That's
like in
cute.
Tarzan, remember how they like would build... Have you seen
Or
Tarzan?
Planet of the Apes.
Do they build nests in Planet of the Apes?
They have like tree villages.
Oh, that's cool. But have you seen Tarzan? I hate you so much.
I don't think
That is
I
crazy. That is
have.
a beautiful
I
childhood
didn't
memory
watch
for
Disney
me.
movies growing up. I've said this.
Yeah, you went and go hunt mountain lions.
No, I watched Hamtaro and Panda Go Panda.
What is that?
They're Japanese kids films. This is so... Keep talking.
Okay, sorry. Now we're going off on a tangent here. So they are endangered, and we don't have a lot of information on them, and we think there's anywhere between 10,000 and 40,000 individuals left
That sucks.
in the wild. They only live in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or
that's
DRC
why.
for short. Yeah, only there. Big reasons for their decline. They have declined. They don't know by how much, but they know it's deforestation, civil unrest, and poaching. A lot of civil unrest has made it really hard. So civil war, lots of conflict, lots of fighting. Have left villages impoverished, so they have to go out and hunt so they can survive. But then researchers don't want to come in there because they could die. So
Wow. Okay.
really sucks. So they are a matriarchal society. So females run everything.
Why?
And this is where the pride thing comes in. They resolve conflict through sex, and it doesn't matter if it's male on male, male to female, female on female. They don't fight. It's rare that they fight. They have sex all day long.
They're so promiscuous.
Like, it's anywhere between 3 seconds to a few minutes. And it's not to completion every time. It is just something they do. That's how they resolve it. Chimpanzees, on the other hand, they fight. They're nasty.
Do you have any numbers for that? Isn't it like 100%?
100% of what?
Like, I don't know if it was a colony that was studied, but I heard or read somewhere that it was 100% of individuals engaged in homosexual behavior at some point.
Oh, yeah, and bonobos, yes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Free age. Like, they say age doesn't matter. There's like become sexually mature at 11 to 13 years of age for females and 9 years
wow.
for males.
Oh,
So
no. That's old.
Yeah, and they only live to be 40.
Sheesh.
And they only have a birth every 4 to 6 years.
Man,
So-
oh my God. I hate thinking about that. I don't know if they have a shot, man.
We have to protect the hell out of them. So the females, they have to copulate several hundred times before there's even a conception. It's just all the time. So, and what defines copulation, like complete copulation, it's hard to tell. But yeah, so when they're resolving conflict, most of the conflict comes from a food source. They want a preferred food source. And so they will resolve that conflict, and they will then either share the food, which happens most of the time, which is really cute, or the one that wins the engagement then gets that preferred piece of food. Rarely there's any other type of conflicts. They're just a really nice, docile, great ape. But the chimpanzees, on the other hand, which are their closest relatives, they fight. They have wars. There's chimpanzee wars. There's civil wars. They kill them. They kill each other. They kill anything. They're crazy. And bonobos are like the 180 from that. And there's been no known bonobo on bonobo deaths ever.
Ape no kill ape.
And they barely, like, there's been like a few recordings of two groups of bonobos like getting into a clash, but then they just go on their separate ways. Like, they don't kill each other. Like, there's a little bit of fighting.
Or then they just copulate and then walk away.
I couldn't tell if, in the research, I couldn't tell if they copulated with the other ones, the other group.
Oh.
Or if they just went on their way.
Sure.
So it tends to be in the groups. So
neat.
It's very, very interesting. And they don't care male, female. It's all natural to them. It doesn't bother them. My soapbox earlier that I want to like kind of finish was that humans like to put things in boxes: sexuality, mental health issues, species, and it's really not something that we can really put into nice, neat boxes because it's a spectrum. Everything's a spectrum, and everything's so complex that you can't define it fully. So I think it's just easier to take nature and understand nature better if you're not trying to separate everything out. And you do realize that everything is this great big fluid spectrum.
The other thing that I'll mention now that we're about halfway through this episode is one of the tough things about doing this research is it's really hard to do research on stuff like this because it's hard to get funding for it and it's hard to get published for it. And it's a shame that any of our human bias impedes research like this because it's important. It's really important to understanding the behavior of these animals. So it was limited for sure. But I think it's cool that we're able to talk about it with you guys. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. Very cool.
One more thing. Back in the day, they used to hide it too.
Right.
Like with Darwin.
Yeah.
Like they used to hide all this because it was such a
taboo.
Yeah, a taboo thing. And it kind of hindered our science in a way. So it's nice that I can finally open up and talk about all this kind of stuff and let science progress.
Yeah. Sweet. Shall I?
Yeah, well, sorry. I'm done with my soapbox.
No, it was great. The next one that I have is the leopard slug.
Did you say you were doing this one?
I don't know. I told you that.
Okay.
Limix maximus is its scientific name.
Look at you. Good job.
Thank you.
You've been taking Latin,
It is literally biggest slug.
I love that.
Limix maximus. They're 4 to 8 inches long, 10 to 20 centimeters.
Huge.
It's pretty significant. They're native to Europe, but they're invasive in lots of other parts of the world, including the U.S. Like, they're all over the place. They're listed as a major agricultural pest. But I personally think they're really beautiful. We're looking at a picture of one right now. Connor, you want to try to describe
looks
that
like
guy?
a copperhead in a good way. Copperheads are beautiful. Okay, sorry. It's a really long slug, has a little antennae. Is that the right word for him?
Yeah.
At the front. And then it has like a copperhead type of pattern on the body, like brown and black. So it can blend in with bark, I guess.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
I'll raise you one. It looks like a leopard. A little bit.
Okay.
It's a leopard
Okay,
slug.
that makes sense.
It kind of has like a leopard pattern. They're really, really beautiful. They're detritivores, so they eat dead plants and fungi.
Important.
But also, they will also pursue other slugs at top speeds of 6 inches per minute or 15 centimeters per minute.
Top speeds.
Yeah,
Okay.
only slugs. Obviously, no other
Right.
bugs they would have a chance with, but they will pursue slugs in a high-speed chase
That's
to eat
crazy.
them. Yeah, so watch out. The cool thing about leopard slugs, and the reason that I wanted to talk about them and some other animal species here, I'll throw in some honorable mentions, is these animals don't care about sex at all. Don't care about what sex you are at all because they're hermaphrodites. They're both sexes.
That's cool.
Hermaphrodites are organisms that have male and female sex organs. These are snails, starfish, worms, some fish species as well. It's super handy because you don't have to go find a mate of the opposite sex.
Right.
You just have to find another slug,
That's very efficient.
which is great because they don't move all that fast, you know.
Right.
So whatever you find is great. They do have slime trails that carry chemical signals that attract other slugs. That's part of how they find each other. And I'm going to talk about slug mating. I wonder if you guys have seen images of slug mating or videos or anything. Have you seen anything like that?
I haven't.
It's so bizarre looking. If you guys have seen it, you're probably, it's crazy looking. I can't believe you haven't seen this. This is really interesting then. Okay. So
Describe
when
it for me.
Okay. When they when they find each other, they climb up a tree together.
Okay. Cute.
Cute.
Yeah.
And then they kind of start twisting around together.
Okay.
So twist like around each other
Like on the tree or like a snake would.
with each other on the tree, and then they start spiraling down off the tree, and they hang via like a really strong slime.
See, they seem like a little tiny snake to me.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
They mate similar to how snakes mate, like in the twisting
Yeah.
of it. So they hang off a tree with a really strong slime. This is where the weird part comes in. They're like wrapped around each other like a corkscrew or like a seashell. And then 2 bluish translucent penises protrude from their heads.
Whoa.
And then those wrap around each other. This is what that looks like.
Oh, that's so pretty.
It is really pretty, isn't
Yeah.
it? So what we're looking at is like, if you imagine the top of a seashell, like a spiral seashell, that's
Yeah.
what the 2 slugs look like.
It looks like another smaller seashell below it that's translucent.
Yeah. And then like a bluish translucent seashell underneath. But that's their penises, and they're wrapped around each other.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And the bottom seashell is about as long as the top one, which is pretty incredible.
Side note, I'd want to study that slime that they're dangling off of.
Oh, it's so strong.
And like use it for glues and stuff.
Okay, well, it's theirs, so I don't think it's
You could just study it and then just replicate it man-made.
Perhaps. So once they do all this wrapping together, they transfer sperm packets to one another. And then essentially, so with hermaphrodites, the assumption, and we don't know this for sure, but the assumption is that everybody wants to play the male role because it's easier. You put less energy into it, less resources, and you can go spread your genes to more individuals if you're playing the male role. As the female, then you have to like lay the eggs and not really care for young and hermaphrodites, but more resources to be the female. So the slug that has the higher sperm investment will play the male role. I don't know if that's sperm count or amount or what.
Right.
What is
It's hard to study that.
Yeah.
Small of an animal.
But after they pass sperm packets to one another, they just fall from the tree. Sometimes one of them will eat the other one after, but not always.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like handy. Again, these can be carnivorous slugs. Like they'll chase after other slugs. So sometimes they do that. But yeah, they do not care, obviously, what your sex is. It does not matter. A mate is a mate for them. Some other hermaphrodite shout-outs. This is my favorite one, probably.
Okay.
Garden snails are hermaphrodites because they're snails. One of the ways that they establish the male role is by piercing their partner with a love dart. It's called a love dart.
Okay.
And it injects a sperm-boosting secretion.
Oh.
So whoever stabs the other one first gets to play the male role because they injected a sperm booster.
We could study them to help infertile males produce more sperm.
Maybe. The only bad thing about it, though, is that it does reduce the the other one's lifespan and fertility.
Sad.
And the explanation for that is that it's just selfish. They're less likely to
Right.
mate with another male.
So
So
maybe we don't want to study it.
more likely to only carry their genes. This is what that looks like. Garden snails mating, kind of crazy. That's
Oh.
that's the dart. It's pretty prominent, guys.
That
It
is
is.
not. That's very long.
It looks like a long tooth, long white tooth, kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge needle. Yeah. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, and then leopard slugs, snails, slugs.
Nice.
Leopard slugs and banana slugs will engage in apopulation, which if a penis gets stuck while they're doing all the wrapping, they'll just bite it off. Which sounds...
Can they regrow it?
The other one will bite it. No, but that's fine because then they'll just become female because they're hermaphrodites. So it's all good.
Flexible.
Yeah, and then my
That's cool.
last honorable mention, and this is going to ruin some of y'all's childhoods, clownfish are
yeah.
hermaphrodites as well. So the male role is typically preferred because it's less work. I've said this, more chance of spreading genes across multiple individuals. In clownfish, all of the clownfish are male except for the largest one in the group, which is the female, the dominant female.
I didn't know that.
But if the breeding female is lost or dies, the dominant male will switch sexes to replace her. So, in everybody's favorite childhood classic, Finding Nemo, if the story goes,
Yeah.
Nemo has a loving mother and father,
Coral.
Coral dies, and then he's raised by Marlin,
Yeah.
his father. Then Nemo is raised by his single father, and they go on a mission together to save the world or whatever. I haven't seen
What?
that movie in a long time.
Oh.
I don't remember. It's been a long time.
Nemo gets stolen, put into a dentist office tank, and gets
part is-
tortured. And
This
then
is all irrelevant to the point of Finding Nemo.
Martin has to go with Dory
Finding
to
Nemo spoilers, by the way.
rescue his son.
Anyway, that's the storyline of Finding Nemo.
Can't believe I'm friends with
However, in reality, if Nemo's mom died, his dad would just switch sexes and then turn into his mom and probably mate with Nemo.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he probably wouldn't do that until after he rescues Nemo, though, right?
I think that he would have done it before.
But like his offspring would be dead. Like he would, like there'd be no reason to do it. That's I'm just questioning it. I don't know. When the change happens, it still happens. It's still weird, but cool.
I don't know. Maybe we should remake the movie
Let's do it.
with that in mind.
Let's do it. Yes.
Question time.
I'm winning 1-0.
Connor's winning.
Okay, speaking of birth, which birds will hide their eggs in the nest of other species?
I buzzed in first.
You did.
Cuckoo birds.
Yes,
Oh,
that is true.
cowbirds will do that too, right?
No extra points for extra information.
There's multiple species. That
I got
does
the
that,
answer.
but it is one of them. Yes, you got it first. Okay.
1-1. Audio listeners, we shook hands.
All right, so I've got another species, but before that, one cool fact. I'm pulling my phone for this, so I get this quote right. 1,500 species have been known to show gay, lesbian, or pansexual behaviors. It's a lot of species.
Say that number again?
1,500.
Neat.
That's what we know.
I'm sure there's so many more than that.
Yeah.
So many
I
more.
don't know if they're counting insects because
No
insects
shot.
are all over the place.
No shot.
So,
Bed bugs, anyone and anything.
yep.
Doesn't even have to be the same species, let alone the same sex. I'm serious.
Got the 9mm sperm cannon, right?
Yeah.
Well, what I have here is a very interesting lizard, and it's called a side-blotched lizard, aka rock paper scissor lizard. And from here on out, audio listeners, I'm getting out a spray bottle. Every time we say rock paper scissors, after this point, we're gonna play rock paper scissors just once, and the loser of that gets shot in the face with water.
Is it like a direct spray or is it like a mist?
It's a direct spray. Here.
No, I don't want to see. No, you can't do that yet. Oh,
It's not bad.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Stop.
Okay. So, Space just brought up a picture of the lizard. Looks pretty normal. There's a diagram later to go into more detail about them because
This
they're
is like
really
your
cool.
guys. It's a stock photo lizard,
Yeah.
small lizard.
So they live in the deserts of North America. They are 6 inches or 15 centimeters, huge. They eat insects, and they're the main prey diet for a lot of predators in the desert. So that puts a lot of demand on them to have lots of offspring. They have 5 to 9 eggs, and when their babies hatch, they're about 1 inch long or 2.54 centimeters. Their lifespan is about 1 year out in the wild, so they've got to
Sad.
reproduce fast. And here's the really cool thing about them. They have 5 genders. So there are 3 types of males, 2 types of females.
So cool.
They are morphologically different and they function completely different. And what dictates the differences between the 3 types of males is the level of testosterone.
Okay.
And so to keep this not confusing, I'm going to kind of relate them to like Pokemon.
Okay.
So their 3 different types are orange, blue, and yellow throated lizards. We're just going to call them orange type, blue type, yellow type.
We're looking at a picture. It's 3 stock photo lizard headshots, but one of them is orange, one of them is blue, and one of them's yellow.
So they do things completely different. They're different sizes. And there wasn't a lot of information on the 2 types of females. Not too sure about those, but the coolest part are the males because you have the orange type, which is the strongest. And they don't form, when I mean strongest, like they're the largest. They can fight off pretty much anything. But they don't form strong bonds with their female mates.
Okay.
Sad. The blue type, they're about middle of the pack size. They're not as strong as the orange, but they form really strong pair bonds with the females.
Okay.
And they have less testosterone than the orange. And then the one that has very little testosterone is the yellow, and they're the smallest.
I see why they're called rock, paper, scissors lizards now.
Yeah. But here's, because, no, we have to play the game.
Oh.
You said it.
Oh, yeah, I just played the game. I sprayed Connor in the face because I said rock, paper, scissors.
You mostly missed. Oh, you got to do it again. That was 2 times.
Oh.
Shoot.
Wait, is that 3 times? Because you just said it again.
We have to say, we have to say the.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. I lost. Okay.
Oh, I broke it.
Connor.
I got so excited.
The bit's over. He broke the spray bottle.
Oh, I can kind of use it still. All right, one more time. I'm just going to win all these.
1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. I'm the winner.
That's so. I broke it so
fast. It doesn't work anymore. Audio listeners, it's not working.
Yeah, I broke off the handle. I mean, it kind of works a little bit. Anyway, so thanks for that, incorporating that bit. So the yellow ones are the smallest, and they're the sneakiest because they look very similar to the female lizards.
Okay.
So they what they'll do is they'll sneak past the oranges and go steal their lady because they don't see them as a male, as a threat, and because the orange types don't have good relationships with their ladies, the yellow is able to come in there and sneak and take them away, which is crazy. And then the blue types, they can fight off the yellow types because the yellows kind of sneak in, steal a lady, but she's strongly paired to him, and he's larger than the yellow, so he can fight her off. And then the orange can fight off the blues. So that's their nickname, rock, paper, scissors, because orange beats blue, blue beats yellow, and yellow beats orange.
Got it.
Last one. 2, 3,
go.
shoot. Gotcha.
Frick.
Okay.
It's not even reaching me. You cannot do that. Don't do that. I have a laptop on me. Connor took off the cap. He took off the cap. Audio listeners, he threw water at me with his cupped hand. You're welcome for narrating that. Was that good?
That was good. Good job. I wanted to throw it all over you.
Absolutely not.
Well, that's all I got. They're super cool.
Yeah.
I think there's so many animals that we could talk about for a Pride episode.
Oh my gosh, so many.
You know, the 40 minutes that we've done here, I don't think does it complete justice, but, you know, maybe we'll do another episode next year or just sprinkle it in throughout the episodes.
This was so interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think it's really hard to find information about stuff like this, again, because of what we said. It's hard for scientists to get funding for this. It's hard to get published researching stuff like this. And human bias comes into play a lot. But one of the things that Connor and I watched, I do want to shout out Queer Planet on Peacock. It's out on Peacock. I'm not sure what other streaming services it's out on.
Not sponsored.
But it's a documentary. Connor and I both watched it in preparation for this episode. It was really great. And then, you know, we both did our other research as well. And then my final shout out for today is we are going to put the Trevor Project in our description today. You guys probably already know what they are, but they're a nonprofit suicide prevention organization that provides 24/7 crisis support services for LGBTQ plus individuals. So we're going to put some resources from the Trevor Project in our description today. Pride Month is all about celebrating everybody and their identities, and the Trevor Project can help you with resources that you need and also help everybody to become better allies. And we can learn a lot from nature when it comes to Pride Month. So I'm stoked about this episode. I think it's so cool to talk about this.
I love it.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to check us out on Patreon. We have extra content on there. Today we're doing an episode where we guess animal sounds, and the loser gets the rest of that water poured on them.
Yes!
So we're going to do that on the Patreon today. We put nature photos on there. We have mugs available if you'd like to check out some mugs. And you can also check us out on all of your podcasting platforms. If you guys could give us a good review on those, that would help us a ton.
Subscribe and like this video.
Subscribe and like this video, and also comment.
Yeah.
Something. Whatever you want.
People Pog, wow.
People Pog, wow. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Thanks for being here. See you on the next one.
See you soon.